Hello, everyone. This is abreast with ARC Advisory Group. And today I am in conversation with Dan King. Dan is the VP of Production as well as R&D at Davy Textiles. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you very much.
So Dan actually was a speaker at the ARC Industry Forum a few years ago, where he shared his organization's digital transformation journey with us. And he specifically talked about a project where they implemented an industrial analytics hub solution, which they used to collect data from the various different assets. So today we'll learn more about that project, get an update on how it's going, and also, we'll ask him if there are any other new digital transformation initiatives that they're taking upon. So Dan, to start off with, would you please like to share a little bit about yourself as well as your organization?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Dan King, like you've said, and I'm one of the owners and I'm the vice president of operations for Davy Textile Solutions. We're in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And my background is I'm a computing scientist and civil engineer, so I have a lot of technical background. And I bring that to the table in my understanding of the computer side of things. I've been doing this for about 35 years, so you can tell by my gray hair, that's where I'm at. As far as Davy goes, we're a manufacturer of high visibility reflective trims for use in construction or oil and gas or mining applications for safety. We are a manufacturer in Western Canada, like I said, in Edmonton, and all of our manufacturing right now globally is done in that location.
Okay, great. So Dan, I remember that you shared with us when you were at the forum that you had very high-tech machines that they have their onboard computer, which you can interact with. But getting the data out of those computers was very difficult for your operators. So they would manually take notes on the readings and all. And that's when you thought of adding your own microprocessors and getting the data to an industrial analytics hub. So can you share how has this journey, how has this project helped your operators? I know they don't have to take the readings anymore, but were there other benefits?
Basically, it's all around the quality standards and around the production levels. So with the data that we're collecting now, we're much more capable in finding where problems are in our processes, right? So I can see if I'm running one particular SKU across 4 different machines and I'm seeing one varying in its output, I know there must be some sort of a challenge with that particular machine. So we can really target our maintenance, we can target our operator training, a lot of these different things on that. I mean, in the simplistic side of things, you brought up the fact that it's simplifying their day, but in the more, I guess, more obscure or the other variant on this one would be the fact that we can target our production a little bit more precisely based on the data now.
And you mentioned that you wanted to improve the overall equipment effectiveness, and that was also a part of the reason. So can you share a little bit more detail on that how you were able to achieve that because of this new project that you had?
Yeah, sure. The OEE is a measurement of overall equipment efficiency, and the so that it has a number of facets to how it's measured. One of them is the availability of equipment. So what we can, again, I've talked about the maintenance and targeting maintenance. So we can choose when maintenance happens. We can, if a machine doesn't need to be up, well, I can use that time as a window of time to do the maintenance on it, which, I mean, that was available before, but with these metrics, I'm able to more target that more precisely than I was able to do before. Also, I mean, from an OEE standpoint, we know when something's down more quickly. In our room, we have it's quite a spread out room, and it's not heavily resourced with people. And every fault that's in our equipment has to be addressed by a person. So with the boards, the Andon boards we designed, they're very visible from throughout the whole operation. They can see very much at a glance that a particular device is down and get to it more quickly before we relied on visually actually seeing it being down. Now we can just look at a board and see it down, and that board is actually available. It's a Power App, so it's available even on a phone or on portable devices. So very easily get that information.
And that's amazing. And I also remember that the biggest challenge you mentioned was cultural adaptation. And oftentimes, when we talk to end users and they're talking about projects and they mention that this as their major challenge, Can you share what were the strategies that you used that helped you address this challenge?
The industry typically refers to adaptation, right? And we want to see that adoption, user adoption, and we want to see we've changed that method or mindset to adaptation because our users, we don't want to force something down our operators' throats and say thou must do this. Rather than that, we want to go in and actually work with them at a cultural level to see what are challenges and barriers to making that migration over and address that specifically. So we have a person on staff whose role is to simply work with each individual operator and see what those challenges and barriers might be and get them to sort of migrate towards the potential solution. And we also love to hear that feedback back from our users and help them, or help us, that information can help us modify our goals or our strategies.
Hmm. What about training? Do you think training can help? The more training you can give to your operators or maintenance technicians?
Yeah, training is really, really important to us. Again, the individual that's their task is to go out there and verify what training is required. So we're using actually our lean information that we're gathering, well, actually, just you can say the metrics we're gathering from our equipment to actually determine if we might be having equipment issues or operator issues. So the operator issues might be related to the lack of training that we might have given a person, an individual person, or their lack of understanding. The training was given, but they didn't get it when they were going through that training program. So with the information we're gathering, we're able to more accurately target a resolution to the problem we're dealing with.
And then a lot of, small to medium size end users want to transform their operations. They want to get ahead on the digital transformation journey. But there's so many solutions are out there, so many software are out there that it's tough for small to medium sized companies because they have to see where they need to invest their time, where they need to invest their resources, what kind of ROI they're going to get. So were there, when you took on this project, were there specific ROI that you were looking for? How did you decide, okay, I want to start with this project and I want to work with this company and so and so?
So I love referencing a movie that I know quite well, but it references a thing called baby steps. And I really believe in taking baby steps. So when we were began this journey back in 2018, we started looking at, what opportunities there might be. And there was no really good solutions at the time. I kind of traveled around all over the place trying to find solutions. So we came across a local company and we were able to utilize them to do a baby step. And that is to let's get an engine board design that we can actually reference. Okay, that's good. That's the first step. And then we continually took these baby steps as we continually rolled this out. I had a sort of a vision in mind of where it was going, but I didn't want to go out and just wholesale do the whole project. And that becomes a very costly venture as well. So we wanted to manage that more accurately, more precisely. So yeah, we did implement through these baby steps of piloting. We piloted a lot of systems. And then once we came and determined an ROI on each one of the different projects, then it was a much easier decision to roll that out across the board.
Nice, nice. And any new digital transformation project that you're very excited about?
Yeah, we actually have a couple of things going on right now. One of the big things for us, textiles is very visually based. Quality of textiles, you can do some tests on it, but often they're a destructive test. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. So we want to know the quality of the material based on its visual impact. So that can be done with the human eye, but then I have to have a lot of human eyes around to do all that inspection. So what we're now embracing is vision systems. We've been actually on the vision system journey for quite a lot of years. Probably 2015 is probably when we first started exploring it, and it's been kind of a failure every aspect of the way until we finally came across the solution that we're working on right now. So we're now rolling this out across all of our different platforms. Actually, we have 3 different manufacturing aspects in our operations, and we're now implementing in both our weaving, in our finishing, and in our lamination processes, looking at different aspects of quality with that vision system. So it's been very interesting. One of the newer things that I'm working on though now is how do I get distributed manufacturing working? One of our challenges, of course, it's a vision, and the quality comes from vision. So how do I know that a product I'm manufacturing in India is equivalent to the one I'm manufacturing in Canada? So what we're hoping to deploy in that aspect is a vision system and any other systems that look at the quality of the fabric and bring that back into a computer environment so we can compare that data from those two different locations. That's the target.
That sounds amazing. Maybe next time when you come to our forum, you can share that project story as well. So
Yeah.
before we part ways, one key piece of advice that you would like to share with end users that are on similar journey as you.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is going to be around culture. What we have to do is we have to get buy-in from our users. I mean, if everything you read right now around IoT is all around this cultural aspect of it, by going out there and forcing people to take on technology doesn't work very well. We have to really be involved with our people who are going to be utilizing that technology and listening to what they have to say and incorporating that back into our platforms as much as we can. Otherwise, there's a pushback that is just almost insurmountable to deal with. So any advice I would give is listen to your users. And then the other side of it too is I have a real struggle with the different technologies that are on the marketplace right now. So we embraced was a platform that would become device agnostic. Then I don't have to worry about the X, Y, Z, different platforms and then trying to tie all the different platforms together. I just have one platform that I can bring into one central data store and then they all talk the same language. So I guess I have two.
Thank you, Dan, for sharing all your knowledge with us, sharing all your ideas with us. We really appreciate your time today.
My pleasure.